welcome to the first video on the Uni Cooking channel. My name's Rob and I'll be hosting all of these videos. So this is just really an introduction into what this channel is all about. So it will be split up into three sections, this first video. So the first bit will be on who am I, how and why I got into cooking really. The second section will be on why I decided to create the channel really, like what made me do it. And the third section will be on just what bits in a kitchen do you really need to start cooking and, you know, start progressing with your skills. So let's dive right into this. So as I alluded to previously, this is the section on who am I and how I got into cooking. So at the moment, I am studying at the University of Hertfordshire. I'm doing pharmaceutical science and I'm just coming up to the end of my first year. So I've just got some more exams to do. Then it'll all be over finally. And I got into cooking from Scouts really. As a troop, we did a cooking competition against other sort of scout groups around in the area, and I really enjoyed it. So like we made like a 3-course meal. I think we made like donuts and a stew or something like that. And it just made me get really into cooking. And then from there, I just started making more and more food. And then when I was with my ex, I was always the one to cook just because I enjoyed cooking. And then I started to progress my skills through that really, trying new meals out, you know, going from just a basic pasta bake all the way up to like a Thai green curry, you know. It's just that's sort of how I progressed into enjoying food and, you know, how I got into it really. There were some other ways that I got into it, sort of like through watching, you know, like TV shows, you know, like the Jamie Olivers, and I also got into it via YouTube videos. So I'd watch YouTube videos from Sorted Food, which were really good, like English-based food cooking channel, and Bon Appetit. It's pretty well known and it's amazing little channel on how you make food, and it got me into it, and it just really brought out passion in me that I liked. You know, I'm not the most creative person in the world, you know, I can't draw for shit, but you know, one place where I was creative was in the kitchen. You know, I could make my own food, you know, I could create new recipes, and it's the only sort of creative bone I have in my body really. So that's how I really got into cooking. So this second section will be all about why I decided to make the channel. One of the reasons is because, you know, all of this quarantine thing at the moment, you know, I've got more free time than Fierce and Ferb does, you know. I'm not going to go around building a roller coaster in my back garden, but, you know, a YouTube channel is second best, I guess. So that's one reason why I'm decided to do this, you know, keep my mind off of everything. But one of the main reasons is really, on YouTube, there's not really a sort of like niche for teaching university students how to cook. You know, cooking at university is a massive thing. You know, it's going to university is the first time you're going to be away from your parents, so you can't rely on them to be able to cook. You know, you really got to learn yourself how to cook. You know, you don't want to be surviving off of, you know, burgers and chips the whole time. You know, you want to get a bit of nutrition in yourself. So I decided to make the YouTube channel to inspire and sort of teach how to cook some really nice meals. You know, I know a lot of people at university who just, you know, are lazy and can't bother to do it. And, you know, I'm lazy myself, but, you know, making a nice meal can take, you know, 10-20 minutes, you know, it's all done, you know. And then one of my friends at university, they're not the best at cooking, you know. They're cooking some fish in the microwave and it exploded. So, you know, that would have been nice for the whole flat to smell, and, you know, she had to clean it up, which wasn't very fun. And, you know, that sort of base of why I wanted to make this channel. So I'm going to split the videos into 4 sections. So we've got our basic section, our beginner section, our intermediate section, and our pro section. So our beginner section, so I'll start with the basics. So the basics will be with, things like bread dough. So, you can, make a loaf of bread or a pizza dough, or, you've got pastries as well, all the sort of pastries. But, I know these things you can easily buy off, from the supermarket, but it's just, I thought I'd make them just in case you did want to try and make, a dough yourself, or, like a pastry crust for yourself, if you did want to push yourself that extra mile. But I just thought, they're there if you want to use them, but if not, like, just use pastry off the shelf. I've done that plenty of times. Sometimes you just can't be bothered to, make some dough or pastry, and you just buy it off the shelf. So the beginner section, so that'll be more like really easy meals that won't take too much time. So, I've got one meal where it's just, olive oil, pasta, you got your tomatoes, chilies, and it makes a really nice meal that you can whip up in, like, 20 minutes. You can have it for like a lunch or a main meal. It's just really easy. Then we move on to our intermediate section. So I personally think that I base myself in this sort of intermediate section. So, that it consists of a bit more effort, a bit more skill. So, like, one of the recipes that will be in this section would be a nice carbonara. So it's not too hard. It doesn't take a lot of time, but there is like one part of it where if you screw it up, you can just make scrambled eggs with, pasta, and it's, I've done that plenty of times, and it's not very pleasant really. And then the professional level, I don't think I'm in this sort of section yet, but I'd like to progress into it. So, like, within this section, it'll be like really complex meals. So sort of like, making ravioli, but I want to make the pasta myself, so going the extra mile, I know it'll be difficult, but I want to sort of push myself, and, with all these bits, it's really rewarding moving from, say if you first watch videos, you're just starting out with the beginner, and, after a year, hopefully I'll be able to sustain that. After the year, you'll be able to move your way up into the intermediate or the professional. It's just a really rewarding sort of way, or sort of life skill, and then I do have a structure to how I'm going to set up the videos. So I'm going to be shopping at Asda. So I know Asda is sort of like quite low prices, but really nice quality. And then I know they situate themselves quite close to universities, so it'll be easier for you to access them. And then I know some people prefer Sainsbury's or prefer a Lidl, and then, that's perfectly fine. It's just sort of, as they're sort of in this mid-range, and, whether you're shopping at Lidl or Aldi, you can reduce how much you think you're going to spend, or, if you're, going to a Sainsbury's or a Morrisons, you can sort of increase the price. And it just means that, like, I'm sort of in this mid area where it's accessible to all. Because I know that, like, at university, there is a major sort of budgeting that you have to do. So, like, I live at home, so I don't really know a lot about it, but I know from friends at university, I know that they go through, it's quite stressful trying to, get through day to day, trying to cook good meals at a cheap price. So, that's why I'm doing this, really. And I thought Asda was a good place to shop. And then in the actual video itself, I'll show you how to make it. I'll show you how to, the recipe, the ingredients, and then I'll show you the shop around Asda. So then I can show you how much I actually spent in Asda. So it could be like, if I'm making a carbonara, for example, like I've said before, the actual subtotal for all the ingredients could be £10, but I'll work it out, and, on the computer that I'm going to have here, I'm going to make an Excel sheet. So, like, say if I've bought a packet of spaghetti and I've used, a quarter of it, I'll work out on here how much the price of each bowl would be. So, the actual price of each bowl could be like £1, £2, which is quite accessible for most university students, and, then you could, make an easy meal. So yeah, that's how I'm going to base it. I'd love for you to, in the comments, give me some ideas of what meals you'd like to see, and how I can make it more accessible for you uni students to do. And hopefully I'll make a nice channel for you to be able to follow on and make it quite easy to follow on as well. So yeah, so the final part of this video is all about the 10 things that you need in a kitchen to really start off. So it's almost like one of those, GQ videos where it's like, oh, what's in your purse, and the females are a bit, oh, I got a mirror because, I just love looking at myself, sort of one of those, but, I'm not going to sound like that, of course. So if you wonder why I keep looking down, it's just because I've got a list here of the things. So to start off with, we've got like a silicone spatula. So I prefer these over like, you know, a wooden spoon or something, just because the silicone's quite flexible, so it means like you can scrape around the edge of your bowl or your saucepan just to get everything out. It's a really useful tool, you know. Again, all of these bits are from Asda, so I will give a list of the price. And they're all from Asda. I think the only bits that aren't are the knives and the scales, just because they didn't have any, so I've just taken them off of Argos, because I know it's quite accessible to everyone. So for the spatula, that's £2, so it's not too expensive. It's quite a good tool. You use it for quite a long while. The second thing is our scales, so that's £10. And you know, it's an investment. Like, you're going to be using it for years and years. You know, you need them to, you know, weigh out how much flour you're going to use, how many, you know, potatoes you need. So you know, they're very useful. You know, you need them in a kitchen to really start learning how to cook and how to bake. The third item is a sieve. So you know, when you're making cakes, you know, you need to sieve the flour. You know, when to strain off your pasta water. You know, key tip, you know, do keep some of your pasta water left over to put in your pasta sauces. It always makes it 10 times better, you know. But yeah, just to strain off your pasta, you know, it's a very useful tool. Our fourth tool is a set of knives. I had to find this on Argos again. They were £8 for 5 knives, and yeah, it's a good range, you know. Even with knives, you kind of want a decent quality, so you might, if you do have a bit more budget, you want to try and upgrade that a bit. You know, I think there were some nice ones for like £20, but I did try and keep this to a budget, you know, because I know it is quite, you don't want to be spending too much on bits for the kitchen. The next one is a large round saucepan, so like sort of like a frying pan, but you want the walls to be a bit higher just so you can make sauces in it as well. So I worked that out to be on as I said, that was £5, so you know, it's not too bad, you know, it's quite accessible. And then to go with that, you want to pass sort of like a larger pot, so you can, you know, boil your pasta or boil potatoes or vegetables or whatever, and that's £8. And then we have just a normal grater. So I know there are ones where, you know, you just got the one for the cheese, but you want to try and get one for a 4-sided one. So then that just means that you can have your little microplane on one side, your larger grater, and then you got like the larger chunks as well, which is quite useful. You know, it's better than just getting a singular one. And then we got just a peeler for your vegetables, for your potatoes. You know, it's useful. They're cheap. They're £2. The one that I found, the grater was £2 as well, by the way. And then we've also got just a set of measuring spoons. So just like these. So it just means like you've got your half tablespoons, your quarter tablespoons, you know, and teaspoons. You know, it's just quite easy for when you're baking, when you're cooking, you know. And there will be a lot of recipes where, you know, like a teaspoon of oregano, or, you know, blah blah blah, you know. And then so those are 75p on Argos, or Asda, sorry. So it's quite a good price actually. And then last but not least is just a measuring jug. So you've got for your water. So if you're making a stock for a stew or a pasta. You also need it for, like, if you're baking, you know, you might need 100 millilitres of water, you know, so it's just easy. There are plastic ones, but I'd say go for the glass ones, just because after a while the plastic's quite hard to read, whereas the glass it does keep for a lot longer, you know. It just means you won't have to spend a lot. So that measuring jug will be about £2.50 if you're going for a glass one. I think the plastic ones were 35p, but I wouldn't go for those. They get a bit useless after a while. So yeah, all of that all together comes to £42.75. I know it's quite a lot, but when you're first going into university, you're going to be using like all those bits for about at least 3 years, if not more. You know, you might take it on, you know, especially if you use, like, you know, your scales, you know, your saucepans, you know, you'll be using them for a lot longer than the 3 years, because they will last for quite a long time. So yeah, that's the video. You know, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, as I said before, just in the comments, just if you wanted any recipes in particular, just make sure you list those down, or anything that can help me improve the quality of this, you know, it would be handy. So thank you for watching, and take care.